Good evening, everyone. I hate to interrupt your meal, but I appreciate your time and your effort to come out tonight. Again, I want to thank Don and his whole crew for this great meal. It's delicious and smells delicious, and that cake is gorgeous that Nancy made. The transition team's been working hard. It may not look like it. There's been a lot going on. We've been doing a lot of research. As most of you know, we did vote to leave the United Methodist Church, and we planned on, well, what we did is we became independent to give us time to see if we want to affiliate with another denomination or if we want to remain independent. There's a lot to be thought of, a lot of research to be done, and we're doing that. There's so many options out there that we wanted to get your thoughts, your opinions, your wishes, so we know how to look at the research. When we can compile, when we get the information from your survey, see what you want, that's going to narrow things down quite a bit. There are 10 or 15 Wesleyan denominations out there. Some that we've never heard of, some that you have heard of that you probably didn't know were Wesleyan. The Global Methodist Church is the new one that has formed out of churches much like ours who had been United Methodist and wanted to leave but wanted to band together. That's one of them. There's Free Methodist, Southern Methodist, the Wesleyan Church, the Nazarene Church, Congregational Methodist Church. There's an association of independent Methodist churches. There's a bunch out there. And we don't want to go into this blindly. We want to do our research and know what you guys want out of if you want to affiliate, if you don't, if you want to stay independent. The benefits of affiliation are that there's lots of things that they can do and hold you accountable. The benefits of independence is nobody tells you what to do. So there's a lot to think about. The surveys that you have in front of you and we have up there, they're too small to see on there, but we're videoing this so other people can see it, and the survey will be on that video. We want everybody to participate in this, all regular attendees and members. It's important for us to know what you want. We'll go through these, but the surveys are due November 15th so that we can compile all the information and narrow down the research that we've done. The first question is it important to have a statement that we believe the Bible is the Word of God? Most of the denominations will say something similar. If we stay independent, do we want to make sure we say that? Is it important to be affiliated with an organized denomination? Your feelings, I'm sorry? With an organized denomination. And that's, you don't want to think, do we want to have some rules? Do we want to make up our own rules? Do we want, there's just a lot to think about there. And all these, we want to know if it's very important to you, fairly, no opinion, not important at all, or maybe you need more information and you don't want to turn your survey in until you get that. Is it important to maintain a Wesleyan understanding of theology? That all comes from John Wesley coming down. That gets you your Methodist churches, your Wesleyan churches, your Nazarene churches. Is it important to have a comprehensive list of our beliefs and doctrine, similar to what we're used to with the Book of Discipline? Most of these denominations that we're researching do have that in some form. Some are pretty simple. I don't mean simple, just a few things. Some are rather lengthy. The Global has used the Book of Discipline from the UMC and pared it down a lot. Just more straightforward, I guess. Okay, is it important to have a local missionary outreach? Our church is very good at that. We have people involved in so many things in our community, with Bible studies, with working at Sam's, with soup kitchens, all kinds of things. And we want to make sure, we want to know if that's important to you. Which leads to the next question. Is it important to be affiliated with a denomination that organizes worldwide missions? To some people, that's very important. To some others, not so much. So we need to know if it's important to you to be connected to a larger group that can do larger things. We're all used to UMCOR and some things like that, and we'll miss being involved with those, but some of these churches do have programs like that and some don't. Is it important to avoid a trust clause in which the denomination holds the deed to our property? We've just been through that. We had to buy our property back from the United Methodist Church to be able to become independent. So some of these denominations require and some don't. Yes, Joanna? The majority of them do. Because that was the original way that John Wesley thought it needed to be set up. There are a lot of good reasons for that and a lot of not good reasons for that. I think his original intent for that sort of backfired in this last round. But some of the denominations require it. Some of them do not, and some of them require it of the people that are, or the churches that are affiliated with them now, but they are willing to let new churches come in and keep their property unless or until you do major renovations or add a building or something, then the trust clause kicks in. So we need, that is a very important point that we need to consider. The next one, number 8, is it important to be affiliated with a denomination which has a board of ordained ministry to oversee the credentialing process of pastors? With the United Methodist Church, they took all the responsibility for making sure that the pastors were educated, ordained, followed the rules that they had set forth. And that, because they were a big organization, and they had protocols in place, it was their responsibility to do that. If we were to remain independent, all that responsibility would fall on us. You know, we can put out calls for resumes for pastors, and just be totally independent on it, but all the vetting process, all the follow-up on credentialing, all the follow-up on making sure they say what they are, would fall on us. And it's a pretty big responsibility for a little church like us. But that's, if you want to do it on your own, that's what the responsibility you take on. So that, and then number 9. Is it important to be affiliated with a denomination that allows significant congregational input into the appointment of pastors? So is it important to you, if we were to go with a denomination, are you okay with one that just sends you somebody? Do you want one that works with you, that they have a pool, that they've decided are trustworthy and accomplished, and then they work with us when we say, well, what our church needs right now is this or that, or what we'd like to do is this or that, or what we'd like to pay is this or that. We found with the United Methodist Church through the years that we told them what we'd like, but we didn't often, that was not what they sent us. So is this an important thing for you if we affiliate with a denomination? Then on the other end of the spectrum, is it important to select future pastors only with congregational input? Just us. Just we go out and find who we want. Form a search committee, go find them, negotiate a contract, and work with it. So those are the questions that we feel like if you give us the answers, we can compile them and narrow down the options to workable. Right now, there's so many out there, we can't just say, okay, here's the 23, let's have a vote. Where do you want to go? What we're trying to do is get your opinions, get it narrowed down to several, to where we can then do more research, give you that research information, maybe even do a matrix or a table of the different, of 3 or 6 or however many it comes down to. But we really feel like the answers we get from your surveys will narrow it down to help us out a lot. If you would consider these, some of you will fly through this survey and give it to us tonight. Some of you will want to take some time to think about it, and some of you will want to do some research or ask some questions. A lot of the transition team is here tonight. We're always available at any time. You can find one of us at a service or on the street, or call Pam at the office for our phone number. But we're all working hard on this and want to do what you guys want. So if you have any questions, please ask them. Does anybody have any questions, general questions right now? Yes, sir.
I was raised in the Baptist church, and good things, bad things, depending on which way you want to look at it. I came to the Methodist church with Joyce 20-odd years ago. I don't need that. I think I'm not loud enough. Okay. Anyway, there are 2 things, as far as I'm concerned, that are important to me. One thing is what the Baptist church does. We own our own property. Item 2 is the handling of ministers. I've seen Baptist churches go through long periods of time without a senior minister dealing with fill-ins and this sort of thing. We had a situation here about 25 years ago. I was chair of Pastor Parish Relations. We had a man that didn't fit. We asked that he be moved. Well, they had a place